So, good day everyone. So, this is the chapter 5, Practicality and Efficiency. Now, as the assigned discussant, together with Christine Villar, for this week, we will discuss the practicality and efficiency and assessment here in chapter 5. So, since nag-asynchronous tayo, basta dito natin na i-report talaga. So, itong video na to, ang purpose nito is to help you gain a deep of understanding of this topic, practicality and efficiencies. It's because we will be answering questions na sinabi ni sir na assigned sa GC natin. So, tayo, okay? I-discuss yung practicality and efficiency. So, tayo, as teachers, as future teachers, diba, we have lots of responsibility, including planning and organizing instruction, and also managing student behavior and assessing learning. Like, for example, so in other areas, in other subjects, for example, in science, diba? As teacher, first we must create lesson plans and design experiments. And thoroughly, we will evaluate their understanding through assessment. Assessing student is primarily important, but also can be time consuming, and in some areas can be costly, and resource very intense in resources, diba? So in this chapter, it mentioned that the classroom assessment are designed to be teacher friendly. So meaning, assessment should be efficient and straightforward to administer. So like using methods that are helpful from them in assessment process. So this will help teachers to focus more on teaching rather than on different challenges. Kumbaga yung mga time mas makukonsume pa in useful ways instead of parang going further in the problems na ma-encounter during the assessment. Diba? They are now focusing in the other area kasi it's actually resolve or no problem. So, task development and grading should be practical and efficient. Thus, it is expected that in this chapter, we will learn some ways on how testing can be practical and efficient. But before we discuss it thoroughly, let us first read the objectives that will guide us throughout this discussion. Okay, define the term practicality and efficiency, discuss its relevance in assessments, and describe how testing can be made more practical and efficient. Okay, dito yung nakakalimutan ko yung slide. So, yan yung objectives. Define the term practicality and efficiency, discuss its relevance in assessment, and describe how testing can be made more practical and efficient. So, ito yung practicality and efficiency of assessment. So, these are the terms. Meron tayong practical and efficiency. So, let us first here go with the practicality. Useful. It can be used to improve classroom instruction and for outcomes assessment purposes. Kumbaga, dapat hindi lang basta-basta. You're in the aim of, gagawin ko to para. So, ganun. Diba? As pre-service teachers, what are the things you do? You do plan, organize, and designing, preparing different strategies and methods that is useful for students learning and improve classroom instructions, and instruction, discussion. So we're not just preparing or giving our students an assessment that are not be useful for them and for us. So in terms to the context of assessment, this practical or practicality are a way to measure how well students meet the learning objectives in a meaningful and applicable manner. So, dito naman tayo sa efficiency, refers to the development, administration of grading of assessment with less effort and waste of resources. Dito is just tells us the importance of achieving effective outcomes and assessment while making the best use of available resources. Kumbaga, it has minimization of the work kasi you are in the path of parang you have yung brilliant way. So, like wala kang nasayang na oras o effort maging mga resources kasi lahat ng ginagawa is into good results. Sabi nga nila, work smarter, not harder. So kapag ikaw yung mga ginagawa mo sa good results or success without unnecessary waste, you demonstrate efficiency. You demonstrate efficiency. So, dito, okay, it refers to the teacher's familiarity with the methods used, time required for the assessment, complexity of the administration, ease of scoring, ease of interpretation of the test results, and the materials. So let's dig deeper. So these are already mentioned in the last slide. So ito yung mga ways on how testing can be made practical and efficient. So we will exemplify it one by one. So una, familiarity with the method, time required, ease in administration, ease of scoring, ease of interpretation, and yung cost. Okay? So, let's go further to familiarity with the method. So, familiarity with the method. Teachers should be familiar with the method of assessment. Taking unfamiliar assessment methods creates risks, waste of time, and resources. One of the purpose of assessment is to enhance student learning and to determine and to address the areas of improvement. Kasi if you are not familiar with the method, how will you able to address their actual needs? Diba? When you are familiar with the method, you can give an appropriate response or decisions or actions to an area. Okay? Your familiarity will able you to tailor the instruction, and you are able also to address the individual needs of your students. So through this, there will be no time and resources waste kasi lahat na na-tailor mo na, and it will be useful in improving the instruction. Kumbaga, it is already expected na you will achieve this kind of results or answers. So, naandun yung appropriateness, creates risk, waste of time and resources. Kasi yun na nga, parang dito, akala mo, tama na yun. That's why you make decisions and you take an actions na akala mo appropriate. Pero, hindi naman magiging beneficial. So, here are the other possible effect if there will be an unfamiliarity with the method. The assessment may not satisfactorily realize the learning outcomes. Okay. So, example dito sa comprehensive understanding of the process. So, yan, sa assessment. So, for example, dito sa the assessment may not satisfactorily realize the learning outcomes. For example, in science, si Jimmy Ling, nagpa-multiple choice test siya to assess students' understanding of a complex science concept. Like, for example, yung photosynthesis. Kaso, ang naandoon lang sa test is parang may mga definitions ang pipiliin kung ano yung word na pinipertain doon. Mga ganun lang. Kaya naman, lahat ng mga estudyante niya hindi nahirapan. Kasi, ganun lang yung sa choices or type of questions. So, what you have noticed? Do you think the students really has the understanding of the complex science concept? Hindi mo sure, diba? So, akala mo. Kasi, ang naando lang sa scenario, parang nangyayari lang is cognitive recall. Parang basic facts lang siya, like, what is the main product of photosynthesis? It is the plants observed during photosynthesis. So, in one word lang pwedeng isagot or ano. So, hindi, parang, mga connectivity. Wala. So, ganun lang. Siguro nga, kung ganun yung test natin dito sa college, I think kaya nating maka-perfect lagi sa test examinations. Yun. The problem, yung critical thinking and ang application of knowledge hindi nagamit, di ba? So, they may score well, but they have a lack of knowledge about the concept. So, dito, it promotes na tayo as teacher, we should be familiar with different methods para mas maging meaningful yung mga concept na tinuturo natin sa kanila. Kumbaga, ma-apply nila talaga yung comprehensive understanding of the concept through appropriate method of the assessment. So, dito naman, the teacher may commit mistakes in the construct or format of the assessment. Okay, for example, unclear questions, mga parang nakakalito. So, in terms of format, parang yung arrangement, sabog, mga halo-halo, lack of clear instructions. So, nabiktima ako dito. Maraming nabibiktamin nito. So, yung construct, yung tulad sa una na example ko, parang lower order thinking imbis na higher order thinking skills. Diba? So, dito naman ang sinasabi dito, as teacher, we are accountable. Okay, para as teacher, dapat marunong tayo mag-consider ng mga possibilities para ma-assess talaga natin ng maayos yung mga estudyante. Addressing these mistakes, we can create an effective assessments. So, the results would not be credible. Any inference arising from the assessment results would not be valid or reliable. So, di ba? Yun, consider yung dalawa na nauna. Not satisfactory realize the learning outcomes and commit mistakes in the construct or format of the assessments. So, hindi siya valid and not reliable. Diba? Itong familiarity with the method is one of the ways on how we can make the assessment practical and efficient. Here, in order para maging useful and efficient, it should be valid and reliable. Dapat dito sa part na to, it suggests na you must know what you are intended to measure, and are we getting a consistency and stability of an assessment results? So again, validity and accurately validity accurately measure what is intended to measure. So a role, okay, dito tayo. So, meron tayo ditong quote. A rule of thumb is that simple learning targets require simple assessment. Complex learning targets demand complex assessment. Kanina doon sa una kong example, yung learning target is complex learning target, but then naka-simple learning assessment siya. That's why, yun yung isa sa mga mali. Kasi kung hindi useless yung learning targets mo, maski time and effort, yung mga effort mo during discussion, wala, diba? Kasi di mo naman talaga nagamit at di rin nagamit ng mga estudyante mo. So, dito tayo sa simple learning targets. So, simple learning targets for straightforward learning goals. Yung mga basic recall of facts or mga simple skills, pwede dito. So, it is appropriate to use simple assessment, then like quizzes, kasama dito yung multiple choice tests. Complex learning targets. These are the more intricate learning objectives that require higher order thinking. So, problem solving or application of knowledge, syempre, complex assessment din ang i-employ natin. Pwede dito yung essay, performance task, basta ito yung different assessment method that allows us for different evaluation of student understanding. So, pwede din dito yung sa multiple choice, but with a different variety of questions. May application of knowledge, tapos yung parang variety siya, may mga situational, hindi lang basta-basta mga basic recall ng mga fact. Pwede lang sagutan ng isang So, from the foregoing, okay, it is critical that teachers learn the strengths and weaknesses of each method of assessment. They are developed, administered, and marked. You can see here how practicality and efficiency are intertwined with other criteria of high-quality classroom assessment. So when it comes to assessment, here it suggests that having this kind of knowledge in the strength and weaknesses of each method of assessment, how they are developed, administered, and marked, this ensure that the assessment are not only effective in measuring student learning but also practical and efficient. Again, practical means it is useful and efficient. Means, yung efficient means achieving something with less or without waste of time and resources. So in this sense, we as teacher, we can create high quality assessments that enhance learning outcomes and teaching. So, dito naman tayo sa time required. Okay, it may be easier said than done. But a desirable assessment is short yet able to provide valid and reliable results. Considering that time is a commodity that many full-time teachers do not have. So, it is best that assessments are quick to develop but not to the point of reckless construction. So, alam naman natin na di basta-basta yung trabaho ng mga guro. They have lots of responsibilities na madalas konti na lang yung oras nila kasi sa mga bundle of works. Kaya napaka-importante rin sa mga teachers na mag-develop ng assessment na madaling gawin. However, it is still not valid para maging reason para ma-compromise yung quality ng assessment. Sabi nga, assessment should be balanced efficiency with thoroughness, which ensures it accurately evaluates students' understanding. Yung main goal natin dito is to provide meaningful insights into students' learning without being overburdened and with extensive preparation of time. Assessment should allow students to respond readily but not hastily. So, dito, for sure, naka-experience na kayo nito. So, lagi ko itong na-experience yung nagre-review naman kaso kailangan i-rush. Kaya ang nangyari, nabaliktad ko yung pag-input ng formula. For sure, tama naman yung sagot ko sa nakawaso lang yun. Nagkabaliktad. So, imbis na dapat sa denominator ko nilagay, yung pag-substitute ko, sa denominator ko nilagay, kaso nailagay ko sa numerator. So, yun. Kasi nakita ko naman sa note ni ma'am. So, dito it suggested that it is important to consider various forms, factors, and most especially the alignment with learning objectives. So, in addition, nandiyan yung clarity and structure dapat well-designed. Through this, it will allow students to demonstrate their understanding without confusion. It is also suggested that assessment does not encourage rush responses like sa example ko kanina. So, yung giving enough time and comfortable formats for students can think critically. Unlike sa nangyari sa akin because of being rushed, doon ko na sa jeep na alala yung tamang process or pag-input ng formula. So, doon ko na-realize yung formula na na-input ko. So, di ba, sayang yung 10 points. But, di ba, ako, I know, I really learned sa subject na yun. So, na-rush lang kasi parang hindi na comfortable because of that limited time given na maraming, maraming isosolve. Assessment should also be scored promptly, but not without basis. So, in scoring, syempre, depende kung anong method of assessment yung ginagawa mo. Sa essay, may rubrics. Sa performance assessment, rubrics din. While sa multiple choice, keto correction. Maganda rin kasi kapag na-check agad kasi parang fresh pa sa isip ng mga bata or ng mga estudyante. Para if ma-check na, ay, dito pala ako nagkamali. Ay, dito pala ako mababa o ay, kulang pa. So, okay. So, ito. Time needed for assessment depends on the method chosen. So, dito tayo sa multiple choice test. These take time to prepare but can be completed quickly by students and are easy to score. So, it takes time kasi yung questions gagawin mo one by one and kasama na rin yung keto corrections. Easy to score siya kasi during the work na ginagawa mo, meron ng keto corrections. So, it can be quickly finished by students, lalo na kung yung question mo not situational. So, it can be quickly rin kasi baka narush ng mga students. That's why, from the familiarity with the method, we already mentioned about the things na dapat i-consider din. So, kahit na scored promptly, dapat with basis, there is a set of standards. Okay? So, dito tayo, essays. While they allow for more expression, they are time-consuming for both students and teachers, especially in larger classes. Timely consuming talaga to for both students and teachers. In terms of paggawa ng essay, at sa pag-check during assessment with essay, one thing na nauna natin tinitingnan ay ang rubrics and ano yung theme question na yung question nagagawa natin ng essay. Yung iba syempre nag-scratch pa yan, kasama pa dyan yung pag-check ng sentence structure mula introduction to conclusion and sa grammatical errors. Yan, kaya time consuming siya kasi in terms sa teachers naman, 'di ba? Hawak mo yung rubrics. I-check mo one by one, syempre babasahin mo muna. Unless, 'di ba, may mga teachers din na sabi nga nila parang tiningnan lang tapos ganun. So kaya nga may mga dito na, 'di ba? Lyrics pala yun ng kanta yung nilagay. Tapos may mga ganong scenario. So yung yung essay advantage siya in terms sa small groups. So, ako talaga kapag nagpapa-quiz ako, binabasa ko talaga yan. Kaya nalalaman ko kung iisa yung sources na ginagamit sa quiz. Diba? Meron pa nga dyan na kapag sa online class nagpapa-quiz or may essay, may dyan na madalas pati yung HTTPS na ilalagay. Yung ganun. So, dito tayo, yun yung disadvantage sa online. So, sa performance assessment, maganda tong performance assessment kasi it's an actual, yan. Pwede mong makita yung creativity, makita mo dito sino magaling sumayaw, umacting, mag-drawing, mag-experiment, mag-design, mag-research through quantitative, public speaking. Time-consuming siya kasi, like sa essay, need mo i-base sa rubrics and then dito papanoorin mo or titingnan mo talaga siya, kumbaga it requires deep analysis. So yun. Okay. Dito tayo sa So, dito tayo sa reusability of assessment. So, dito, efficiency in use. Well-constructed multiple-choice questions can be reused for different groups, saving preparation time in the future. Okay? Security concerns, keeping test items secure is important to maintain validity and reliability, especially in larger tests. So, dito, ang una-una natin dito na maiisip when it terms sa security concerns. If the assessment is not secure, one thing of course, may cheating will happen. So if this happens, wala na yung validity and reliability. the time and resources na ginugol mo for the assessment is being stolen. So, security contributes to reliability. So, if test items are leaked, the results may vary across different groups. So, baka yung hindi naman talaga natuto, mataas yung score compare sa mas nakaintindi. Kasi parang, yun, cheating na. Then, of course, yun, so, ito. Long-term use. If assessments are proven to be valid, they can be reused in subsequent terms, which helps reduce the workload for teachers. Okay, dito ang nakikita ko dito in terms of validity and reliability. Dito mo muna dito in terms sa validity, in terms of accuracy and alignment with the learning objectives. This ensure that it reflects students' knowledge and skills. So, in terms naman sa reliability, yan, compare and contrast yung mangyayari dito sa reusability. Of course, consistent use of test items helps create a stable assessment. Siyempre, kapag same yung questions yung ginamit, it will allow for meaningful comparison of students' performance over time. Okay, pwedeng ang example dito yung sa mga section. Pwedeng yung question dito gamitin sa ibang section. Edi matitingnan mo kung aling sections yung may mga mataas, gano'n. So, ganun, mas maano mo siya. So, meron ditong suggestions to improve reliability. So, length of assessment, longer assessment tend to be more reliable. According to Macmillan, a good assessment usually takes 30 to 40 minutes for accurate scoring. So, dito it suggests na dapat as teachers, in terms of grading, it must not rush. You need an extended time for analyzing, applying scoring rubrics, and most importantly is yung feedback. Napaka-importante nito para ma-realize ng mga students kung saan ang area ng improvement pa nila. Yan, para kang parang sa singing contest, may pa-feedback kung saan ka nagkamali sa notes. So, meron pa ditong item count. For specific skills, aim for 6 to 10 objective questions to ensure a reliable assessment. Kumbaga dito, ang sinasabi na specific skills is for a particular topic, like solving quadratic. For example, particular topic, for example, yung solving quadratic equation. Okay? Dyan, you will aim to include 6 to 10 objective questions. Kumbaga, nakatamang alignment, well-structured. Kumbaga, sa isang topic, for example, quadratic equation, may variety of question dyan. Yan, yun yung sinasabi dito. Then, of course, yan. So, is in administration. So, ito. Assessment should be easy to administer to avoid questions during the test or performance tasks. Instructions must be clear and complete. So, sabi nga ni Sir Jen sa amin, last time na nag-demo teaching kami, dapat, bago mo ibigay, bago mo magsimula, dapat sa una pa lang, linawin mo na sa mga estudyante, sabihin mo na para hindi magkagulo kasi parang sabog na yung parang nagkakagulo na yan, parang mayroon ng parang nagiging palengke na. So, ito, clear and complete instructions. Instructions must be straightforward and comprehensive. Vague directions can lead to confusion, resulting in incorrect responses from students. Yan, incorrect responses. So, di ba? So, yung kapag nakakalito, meron ako ditong experience ng high school ako. So, ang nangyari doon, syempre nag-review naman ako in science subject. Doon sa science subject na yun, one thing na na-confuse ako dun sa direction. That's why ang nangyari, sabi ni ma'am, tama sana yung mga sagot ko, kaso nga lang yung sa mali yung pagkalagay ko. So, nalito kasi ko dun sa part na yun. So, ganun. Kaya, incorrect responses from students. Communicate procedures in a direct manner. Students must understand the task to unclear instructions. Their performance may not accurately reflect their knowledge or skills. So, dapat i-communicate mo. Kaya yun. Yung directions, yung procedures, at mo muna sa kanila, malinaw. So, kapag kasi, yun na nga, tulad sa example ko nung high school ako. So, tama naman yung mga sagot ko, kaso lang, yun, parang hindi ko naintindihan yung direction. Okay, pero tama, may mga kasi dyan na dapat sundin, kaso pag nagkamali ka, mali pa rin kahit na tama yung So, performance assessment. Okay. So, performance assessment. Okay. Performance assessments. For performance assessment, especially those involving tasks like science experiments, ensure that directions are not overly lengthy or complicated. So, dapat hindi lengthy kasi baka mas matagal pa yung pagbabasa nila kaysa sa nasimulan nila. Ganun yung pwedeng mangyari. So, pwedeng makonsume yung time yun. Hindi matapos. So, if students spend excessive time trying to read and comprehend intricate procedures, it can detract from their ability to demonstrate their actual understanding of skills. So, yun. Excessive time trying to read and comprehend procedures. Hindi, imbis na na nila, hindi. Kasi, yun, ang length, hirap tindihin. So, yun. So, yan. So, I advise you to read this ease of scoring na lang. Yung mga following and na part ng chapter 5. So, thank you for stay tuning in this video or channel. So, thank you for listening. Sana nabigyan ko kayo ng idea about this here in this chapter kasi we will answer some questions lang. So, thank you for listening, and kung nandito ka sa channel ko, subscribe na rin kayo, and like na rin. Thank you sa mga kaklase ko na naandito. So, pwede din kayo mag-comment para mas makalaman kung sino kayong mga nanood. So, yeah, thank you.